First of all, let me ask, what does it mean for a school like UNC to be having an HBCU celebration game?
That's wonderful. All I can say is hats off to Mack Brown because he's behind all of this and he knows what we did. He knows how hard it was. He knows how we worked every day to overcome some huge obstacles that stood in our way in terms of money, equipment, all the things that it takes, assistant coaches. Uh, I remember going down one time watching him practice, and he had an 18-wheeler load full of tape. You know, we just had a meager tape budget, and we had 2, 3 practices a day, but kids only got tape one time. So they got taped in the morning, had to wear that tape, took a shower, wear that tape for the next 2 practices. So Matt gave me enough tape so that we could manage for the rest of the season. So he's always been there behind the scenes helping us out. I really admire the man. He's a great guy.
And Mack Brown is a current coach in his second stint at Carolina. And Coach, you have roots in the Triangle area, growing up in nearby Durham, North Carolina, playing high school football there, as well as attending and playing football at North Carolina Central University, returning there, as I said, as the AD at your alma mater. What does it mean, and how does it feel for you to be now honored as part of this celebration on Saturday at UNC?
Unbelievable. Far beyond anything I could have ever imagined to be going over to University of North Carolina to be honored at a football game on their football field by their football coach and their alumni friends and of the university. It is absolutely unbelievable because it just seems like yesterday back in the 60s when if we went to a Carolina game, we had to sit up in the buzzer roots way back up in the corner. So things have changed tremendously over the years, and I am extremely proud and happy that Mack Brown and the University of North Carolina will reach out to guys like me and Rudy and Rod Broadway and Jim Webster and give us our due because we worked so hard to try to put a good product on the field.
You know, that was going to be my next question. What do you remember growing up about UNC? But you've kind of answered that question. But also, Florida A&M and head coach Willie Simmons are facing an ACC team in UNC. If they win, it would be a national story. It would shock the world, kind of shake the foundations of college football. It would be a defining victory for both FAM as well as Coach Simmons. What were some of the defining victories for you as a head coach, both at Winston-Salem State and A&T?
Wow. Well, I remember at Winston-Salem State when we first beat A&T, they had beaten us 60 years in a row. And I remember a reporter kind of like yourself asking me, how does it feel to play a team that had beaten you 60 times in a row? And I responded by saying, they never beat me. Yeah, this is my first time playing them, so we're going to see what happens. And we won that game. And then when I was at A&T, I guess the defining victory was that season when we beat Western Carolina and then came back the next week and beat Appalachian and came back the next week and beat Liberty. And so that was probably the most defining seasons that we had, although we had some great years and won some championships. Those 3 victories, especially the one with Al, so they were so tough and
Dominant.
so well coached. And to finally beat them after they had beaten us 2 or 3 times was a highlight.
Now, you're being honored with both Coach Hubbard and Coach Broadway. Tell us how you are connected to those 2 HBCU legends.
Well, first, Rudy Hubbard won the national championship, I think, back in 1978. And we won the CIAA championship in that same year. But Rudy was 1AA back in the day, and we were Division II. So we both won championships at the same time. And I remember meeting him for the first time at the AFC, the American Football Coaches Association, when we were honored. And guess what? With Lou Holtz on the podium. Lou Holtz was Division 1A, and Rudy was Division 1AA, and I was Division 2. So that's why when I really first met the great Rudy Hubbard. And when I was in Tallahassee as athletic director at Florida A&M, I would go by the school that he worked at and spend hours with Rudy just talking about the old times. So I know Rudy Hubbard well.
Mm-hmm. And Coach Broadway?
Oh God, I was his AD. I was Broadway's AD when he became head football coach at Central. I think that was his first head coaching job, and
Yes, it was.
it was my first AD job, and we hit it off real well. And I tried my best to do things that would make it a little bit easier for him to win. And so, great guy, super coach, and I'm really proud to be in this arena with him on Saturday.
And Coach, HBCU football and HBCUs in general in the midst of a kind of a resurgence with the likes of Deion Sanders, Eddie George, Hugh Jackson, Eddie Robinson Jr. joining the HBCU head coaching ranks. And everybody from the NFL to the NBA to the Final Four and others are joining in, taking part in this resurgence. What do you think about this in terms of this surge in recognition and popularity?
I'm proud to see, and if it took a guy like Dion to do what he's doing, and those guys who really, most of them didn't attend black colleges. However,
right,
with their presence, black colleges have begun to receive some recognition and some funding that they would normally not be able to receive, and so that's why I'm proud of what they're doing, and that's why I'm really proud of what Dion is doing, because now a lot of attention is being focused on HBCUs.
And an example of that is obviously what's going on this weekend in Chapel Hill. And Coach, finally, I don't want to keep you long, but finally, I know because I'm doing a documentary on your life, you know, that you're a volunteer off the field, one of the most decorated volunteers perhaps in the nation, with golden antelope and the
Silver antelope.
Silver antelope, and the other one is Silver Beaver Awards from the Boy Scouts.
That's correct.
As well as your activity helping young people with your foundation and other things. And what I want to ask you finally, what is life like for Coach Hayes now off the field of play and out of the offices of athletics directors?
Well, I've got to learn how to say no, because every time somebody wants to raise some money, including the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, I am the campaign fundraising chair for the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame. I knew it would be a journey to get into the North Carolina State Sports Hall of Fame, but to be fundraising chair for that organization is quite an honor. I'm just doing so much with the local Winston-Salem Sportsman's Club, raising money for scholarships and putting folk in the Hall of Fame. We got a girls basketball tournament that we sponsor, and having golf tournaments for my foundation, giving money not only to my alma mater, North Carolina Central, but scholarship money back to North Carolina A&T and Fayetteville State and Winston-Salem. And just met with a lady yesterday trying to find enough money to give all 10 HBCUs in North Carolina a nice pot of money to fund with scholarships. So I'm still at it, and I'm really happy about that.
That's wonderful, Coach. That's wonderful. Keep up the great work. But, you know, I want to just add, if folks don't know, the field at Bowman Gray Stadium has been named in your honor, is now the William Bill Hayes Field at Bowman Gray, where the Winston-Salem State Rams play, as well as had Chancellor Elwood Robinson from Winston-Salem State talking about that they're going to actually put a statue outside the stadium honoring Bill Hayes. Just if you could have thought about that.
I can't even believe it. It's unbelievable. I'll believe it when I see it. It's far beyond anything I have ever imagined. You know, a kid who had polio growing up in Durham, and asking God to give me the strength to play, just to play, and to have played well and soared and done some things in the sport that I really love, and in athletics, and helping kids with scholarships and coaching. I had about 150 guys go to the NFL, you know, and they've done really well. But I've got guys who never played pro football. They got their own companies and millionaires. And so all this stuff is so exciting to me. And I'm just so pleased for the life I've led.
And Coach, we want to say again, thank you for all that you've done. Obviously, the great legacy that you've left. Congratulations on what's happening Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you at Saturday and being honored at the game.
Hey, Luke, thank you. You guys a whole lot. I really appreciate it.
Okay. That's it for HBCU Game Day with the legend Bill Hayes signing off.